Welcome back to another episode of Always Forward Podcast. And I've got two of the Agoge coaches on this one. We are in Jersey, which I got to say, I don't think I'm a big fan, man.
I live here and I'm not a big fan.
First of all, it's freezing here. We have hurricane force winds outside.
Yes.
This house is pretty dope, though, Gerry.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I've grown to like it.
You can't make left turns here.
Nope.
You have to do this like weird, like off ramp, circular route.
Correct.
What's up with that?
It's just like a lot of other things in Jersey. It just doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's your union reps up here that made these rules.
Probably.
So they could get extra some contracts.
Extra 30 feet of concrete poured one way or the other, yeah.
Yeah. You got to pad that labor a little bit, right? I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's what it is.
It's what it is.
And then what's up with the ketchup? Everywhere I go, they're like, you want salt, pepper, ketchup on that? I'm like, no, man, stop putting ketchup on everything.
That's what we call normal, Nick.
Why?
Because it's awesome.
Okay.
It could be worse. It could be Canada and everything could be just covered in mayonnaise.
That is true.
That would also be gross.
That is true.
That would also be gross. Well, thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely.
We just filmed a pretty badass little documentary on Gerry here, which you were a former client. I guess sort of in a way, sort of still a client. We're still we're all work in progress.
Correct.
Yeah. But you came on as and you'll see it if you guys go see the documentary, which I'm not sure by this time. This will probably be done by time this launches. Like we have 2 weeks ish. Yeah, it should be out. We'll shoot for it to be out by the time this podcast launches. And but you were a client. You came on way back in the day when we first started. We did like a beta test. We did it's called Surviving the Cut.
Yeah.
And it was so rudimentary, wasn't it?
The Excel spreadsheets to track your weight, yes.
Yeah, we did Google Sheets.
That's it, Google Sheets, yeah.
Google Sheets online, and you had to like put your macros in.
Yeah,
right?
we had to put them all in every single day, yeah.
Which you could have just lied.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So, anyways, you were 300 pounds.
Correct.
And how old?
43 years old.
43 years old. And where did you see? What did you find to click on the Surviving the Cut?
Instagram. Your Instagram.
You were following me?
Yeah.
How long you been following me?
Probably at that time a few months.
How did you find it?
I honestly don't know. I think you came up on my Explore page, and I saw long hair and guns, and I'm like, that looks cool.
Algorithm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Hooked me in, hook, line, and sinker.
They're like, this guy likes freedom. That was back when freedom was cool.
So I'll tell you that one of the funniest things, you put a post about your daughter and driving her to school.
Yeah.
And I had commented on that, and then you commented back to me. And I came home and I'm like, hey, this guy Nick answered my comment and replied back to me.
I remember that video is when I did a video about
correct.
Yeah, about the importance of things.
So I started following you after that, and then that's when I saw the Surviving the Cut post.
Yeah, we still do that. She doesn't take the bus.
Yeah, my daughter stopped taking the bus her senior year, or junior year actually. I was driver. Yeah. Working from home made it easy, driving her back and forth. But it builds a bond. It's an experience.
Even though sometimes she's moody as hell, and thank God she doesn't listen to this podcast, that's 20 minutes extra I get with my kid.
100%.
You know what I mean? Well, you coach all your kids, so you're always with your kids, but still.
Try not to leave their side anymore. I don't have to.
Ever.
But also,
I'm
right there.
Right here. Yeah. Get back in line, child. But I also get to drive my kids to school.
Yeah.
My one's like a 5-second drop off, but the other one, we get 20 minutes.
Yeah. It matters.
It does.
So I have some rules. I'm like, you're the music player. She gets to play her music, and you have to talk to me. Even when, teenage girls.
Yeah.
So you have to talk to me. And she's moody or something, I'm like, you know the rules. Otherwise you take the bus. The whole purpose of this is you play the music and I get to talk to you.
Yeah.
About anything.
And I remember after COVID, when she went back to school, she had friends that had their licenses at that time.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just going to ride with them. I said, just give me one more time to drive you to school and pick you up and to have that last experience. And luckily I got to have that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you you saw that post and you were like, yeah, man, I'm going to sign up.
Well, I guess at that point when I saw the post, it was you either do this and really change your life around.
Yeah.
Or you die. Literally.
Yeah. Because let's go ahead and crack it open.
Yeah.
Let's go crack that egg. Wide open.
Crack that egg wide open.
Yeah. Your dad died at what age?
49.
Of
massive heart attack.
And that was due to him being
obese.
Correct.
I was 25 at the time.
That sucks so bad, man.
It was horrible experience to go through.
Yeah.
But I think that partially made me who I am today.
Of course. We talk about this on every damn podcast we talk about hardships, and like those bad things is what makes you like what you are if you allow it, right? But yeah, I mean, at 25, I don't feel like you have the emotional maturity to like handle that.
You don't.
Yeah,
you don't. And I remember very clearly I was working an overnight shift, and his favorite holiday was 4th of July. That was his like big thing. Mm-hmm. I was working an overnight shift. Why? Yeah, because he liked to spend a lot of money on fireworks. Oh. And shoot off illegal fireworks. That was his big thing. Yeah.
It's a good reason.
Once a year. Once a year.
Stoked to do that.
And if you remember the old Motorola StarTech cell phone.
Oh, of course.
I had just gotten that, so I was working overnight. And, you're going to look at your new phone to touch it and see it. And I look and I see a missed call from my dad's house at like 1 in the morning. And I'm like, I know he had a heart attack. He had had surgery. He was back home. And the funny thing was, I was going to call him before I went to work that night, just to check in on him.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'll call him tomorrow. Let him get some rest.
Yeah.
Saw that missed call, called up, spoke to my stepmom, and she was very calm. And she's just like, hey, your dad's not breathing. The ambulance are on their way. Like, you need to get up here.
So he had a heart attack.
It was his second or third in a row. So he had a heart attack a week before, down in South Jersey at the shore. Came up to a specialist in Newark, had a heart surgery. He had 90% blockage, I think 70 and 30.
Okay.
So they operated on the 90, and they were going to do the other one subsequently.
Yeah.
And then they sent him home, and like I said, was going to call him and decided not to. He had stopped breathing. By that time, he was already gone.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that, so because they wouldn't tell me on the phone that he was gone. So driving up, it was a 30-minute ride. I had my then girlfriend at the time, my mom, and sometimes we're dicks to our moms. My mom is very religious, and I remember just saying to her, you're the religious one, you pray. And then I got there, and he was gone. So
yeah, man. Choices.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, and I don't want to sound harsh, but like, people make choices.
100%.
You know what I mean? And you can't always you're not responsible for other person's choice. But those choices can affect the people around you and your loved ones, right?
100%.
Then you were heading, and then from 25 on, you started heading down the same road.
Most people would think that would shock you into
right.
It,
you would
right?
think that.
You would
right?
think you would think that. Oh my God, that happened. Let me change.
Yeah.
And it absolutely turned me the other way. I followed in his footsteps, and between 25 and 43, just progressively gained weight.
Why do you think that is? Like, what do you think that is? It lifestyle? Like, what do you?
I think it's
mentally.
I think it's a mixture of a lot. So it's that lack of discipline, the lack of that work ethic to actually go into the gym and put in the work in the gym and focus on nutrition. It was just easier.
Were you ever an athlete in high school or college or anything?
I mean, no. I played hockey a little bit, but that was it. Was really never an athlete.
Okay.
So, and again, growing up in an Italian American household, fitness and nutrition weren't priority.
Yeah.
It was indulging and eating pasta and stuff like that.
That's kind of like the cultural norm for Italians in this area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's an easy path, right? To eat lasagna and not care about what happens afterwards. It's just the easier path.
Drink vino and yell at each other.
Or drink soda, right? Regular Coke.
Yeah.
Right.
Full sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And not know or care about how it affects your body on the back end.
So then fast forward to, so you were 25, he died at 49.
Yep.
43.
I was 6 years away from the same age.
Did you like mentally like look at yourself in the mirror and think like, I'm going to die at 49?
Yeah. Or not earlier, if not earlier.
Wow.
And the scary thing was, like, looking back on it now, I talk to a lot of people about wishing that who I would become or being fit or being, healthy and stuff like that, the wishing part, but never putting in the action.
Yeah.
But throughout the time that I kept gaining the weight, I would look at myself in the mirror all the time and know, hey, you're on that path. You are not going to outlive your father. Your kids are going to go to a tombstone like you do versus growing up with an old man.
Yeah.
And it just never sunk in until it finally did.
Wow.
And, I hate to say, a lot of things come down to daddy issues.
Hey, man, we all got them.
But I
think most people do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I always wanted to do in my life was serve in the military.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that. Yeah.
And not blaming him for not serving, but when I was 17, I enlisted in the Air Force. I took the oath of enlistment. I had my ship out date, and then he was rushed to the emergency room, and his sugar was over 1,200. And the doctors told me he shouldn't be alive. And at that point, 17, scared out of my mind, I said I can't go away for X amount of years and have my dad die when I'm not there. So I got a general discharge from the Air Force and never served.
Damn. And then we're going to get into this too, but you tried again, right?
I did. About 4 years later, 98.
Yeah.
So that time it was the Army. Mm-hmm. Took my second ASFAB, was ready to go. And the girl who I was dating at the time, who eventually became my first wife, she said, hey, if you want to go, that's okay, but I'm not going to be able to wait around while you're gone for 8 years. And I said, oh, okay, then I'm not going to go. So 0 for 2.
Anybody, this question, I get asked this question all the time. What do I do about, my family doesn't support me joining the military. My wife, my girlfriend doesn't support me joining the military. I'm like, first of all, you can't get rid of your family. Not really. I mean, you can not talk to them, but you can't choose your family. I'm like, if that girl says that, she's going to leave you anyway. 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You're going to build resentment. You're going to hate people. I'm sure you've seen the same thing in the Navy.
Seen the same thing. And with the family side, the family's going to come back eventually.
Yeah.
If you want them.
Yeah.
Most people want their family around, right? That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But your family's going to come back eventually. And that girl that you leave when you're about to deploy that says, if you go, I'm going to leave and cheat on you and this and that. She's going to do it anyway.
She's probably going to do it anyway.
Doesn't matter.
You know what I mean? Go live your dreams, man.
Go have fun. Whatever you're about to do.
Granted, you have your daughter, right? You can't take that back.
I used to play the what if game a lot.
Yeah.
With my dad, hey, what if I called him the night before he died and I heard something? And I put myself through mental hell for years playing that game. But to your point with the military, what if I had just said, fuck you and just went?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have my son or my daughter.
Yeah.
So can't play the what if game.
No, you can't.
Got to accept your decisions like a big boy.
Yeah.
And move forward.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you're gonna live, you have to. It's your vote. It's your choice.
Yeah.
If you want to join the military, and someone who doesn't, first of all, if they're your significant other, they don't support you. That's a
big sign.
That's a big sign for a lot of different things. So choose accordingly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so there's your military talk. So you're 43, looking in the mirror, you're like, fuck.
So I started out, I saw a picture of myself at 300 pounds. And
What picture?
I was at a wedding.
Okay.
When you look at yourself in the mirror, you see one thing.
Of course.
But when you look at yourself in a photograph, it's a whole nother world. And I saw myself and there was no shape to me. It was bald head to kind of shoulders and stomach and just everything down in one shape.
Yeah.
And I could not believe that I had let myself get to that point. And thinking back to my dad and saying, I'm literally walking the same path that he walked. I got to do something. I need to make a change.
So, were you getting physicals and stuff back then?
I had not seen a doctor in 10 years.
Was it because of that?
Yeah. It just
you knew.
I knew I didn't want to hear bad news.
Yeah.
So I play ignorant.
Just ignore that.
Just ignore everything.
Yeah.
It's just it's like a car. Don't look under the hood.
Exactly.
Open that thing up. You're going to find a problem.
Just keep putting gasoline in it. Yeah.
I mean, even when I would feel chest pains.
So you were feeling something.
Oh yeah. Walking up a flight of stairs and having to stop at the top of a flight of stairs to catch my breath. It's all good. Don't need to go see anybody. Just keep on keeping on.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you probably you could have been there even sooner.
Absolutely.
because you got to look at not just your dad's generation was a little bit different, right? He grew up in a different. It was a different society back then, even when we grew up.
Yeah.
And then as it started changing, as in our adult lives, right? So it was like exponentially worse.
Yeah.
Food was exponentially worse. Sugar was exponentially worse. And so you were probably knocking on the door faster than 49.
Correct. I don't think I would have made it.
You don't think you would have made it 49?
I would probably say 47, 46.
Something bad would have happened.
Like a year from now.
Shit. You put it like that, man.
It's scary.
Like you legitimately by getting healthy, you legitimately added probably 4 decades to your life.
Yeah.
That's nuts to think about.
Well, and I think about everything that I've done in my life since I buried my father, what he missed out on, and what I could have missed out on in my life. Going
your
forward.
kids are just getting warmed up, man.
Yeah.
Especially that girl.
Yeah.
She is just getting warmed up. Like her life is really just starting to start. And I would
have been a stone.
Somebody else would have experienced all that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was one of the.
And not only that, but what effects would that have had on her?
Correct. Because, so she and I, like I said, we have a very strong bond. And, we call each other our besties and stuff like that. And thinking now to how she and I are with each other, had I not been here, she would have been devastated.
Yeah.
It would have been a much different, darker life.
That would have been some weight to carry around for a long time.
Yes.
If not forever.
I did it.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and I didn't want to do it to my kids.
Right.
What age did she start getting into volleyball?
So freshman in high school. So 13-ish.
So like 2 or 3 years before you chose to go down this path.
About a year before.
Okay.
Maybe it might be 2 years, but about a year before.
Because now she's fully invested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's invested in playing in college. She's invested in
and training outside of volleyball.
Yeah.
That's going to benefit volleyball.
Yeah.
and then it's going to stick on for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only did you impact you and your memories with her and her memories with you, but her longevity in this world just went up too.
Yeah, and now
incredible.
She changed her major in college. She was going for education, and now she changed to like physical education management and stuff like that. So
Sports management.
Sports management.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it's like kind of that trickle down effect, right? So
Yeah.
I changed my life and then influenced other people, which is awesome.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're 43. You look at your picture in the mirror. You see the surviving the cut. And you're like, yep, I got to do it.
So I had a lot of the start stops. So I did the Atkins diet. I did the all the fad stuff, and would drop 10 pounds here, gain it right back.
Why do you feel like that doesn't, like, okay, I call myself, I've been fat, right? Never really been fat. Like I say that, but there's a big difference in being fat and then being like big.
Yeah.
Because I like to lift big. I like to lift heavy. I like to eat big.
Well, there's difference when you're big muscularly.
Yes.
Versus when you're big fatly.
I wasn't. Yeah.
Husky.
Yeah. I wasn't lean, but I wasn't either. I also wasn't fat. Yes, my body fat was higher, but.
It's funny. My mom used to buy me husky-sized jeans.
There you go.
When I was a kid.
Oh, that's horrible.
Husky-sized jeans. It's a fucking telltale sign right there.
Yeah.
But at that point, it was I didn't have the discipline to do it on my own.
Okay, so that's what I was going to get at. I've never been in those shoes, right? And talking to my brother, who was 400 pounds and now 200 pounds, he was really my first test bed. I got to hand it to my brother. My brother was my very first kind of like public client, if you will. Obviously a huge success, right?
Yeah.
200 pounds. Like I would have lost my brother. You'd have known. But so trying all these fad diets, why, from your point of view, why don't they work? Is it the discipline? Is it the consistency?
It's that quick fix, number one. So you get that quick.
That's not a real thing.
Yeah. Exactly. It's short term, and then it's not sustainable. None of those things are sustainable.
Okay.
But then it's also that discipline piece of being on Atkins for the rest of your life. Is not.
I'm sure Atkins would love that.
Exactly. But as I've learned over the last 3 years, carbs are good. Now,
Eat 'em.
not like McDonald's French fry carbs,
No.
but healthy, good carbs are good for your body.
Sweet potatoes are not bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Rice is not bad. Pasta, believe it or not that bad.
Exactly.
But
that was, I think, the reason why I looked at surviving the cut was I didn't have the discipline to do it on my own.
Okay.
I needed someone else to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
Hence you and Josh.
Yeah.
What two better guys to hold you accountable than you guys?
Yeah. I probably give people a little bit more rope than he does.
He has a very short rope.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
So if any of the Agoge people out there that has Josh as their coach, they know he's also the worst salesman. He's like, this is what we do. Do you want to do it? Well, this is not for you.
This is not for you. move along.
Let me just cut you off right there. Like, this is not for you. But no, he's pretty hardcore, man.
But I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed someone who was no bullshit to say, you're going to do this and you're going to succeed, but you're going to do it exactly the way I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
And that's what I think would set me up for success.
I think that most guys really need that. And my coach just recently said that. They were like, if you have guy clients, don't give them much choices. Guys will typically say, like, for instance, if you're going to go for a walk, like, I need you to go walk at this pace for 45 minutes. Not go do some cardio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys are like, okay, this pace, 45 minutes. Check.
Yeah. Don't leave it up for interpretation.
No, there's no interpretation.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you're going to do, period. This is what I got to do. Done.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
And I think that's the reason why I liked that program so much. And what kept me going with it was it was very regimented. You are going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this.
That's it.
And I was able to follow that simplicity of a program.
Yeah. We good? Oh. Yeah. Then that was it.
Yeah.
And that was back when we were doing. How long was that?
That was 3 months.
It was 3 months.
And I did it back to back.
Yeah.
So I did 3 and 3.
You did 3 and 3,
Yep.
and then you came on to the Agoge after that.
Yeah.
Those listen. We did like for almost a year, because you didn't do the very first surviving the cut. You got the second.
No, I was in 02-19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did it that way, and then the following, you did that basically the last half of the year.
Yeah, I ended in December of 2019.
And then 2020.
You called me in like February, March of 2020.
Yeah.
When we had switched platforms.
We switched platforms, yeah. Which is much better, by the way.
I actually still have those Google Sheets saved just to go back and laugh at them.
Oh, man, they're probably a mess.
Yeah.
So, remind me, you started in the summer, right? 02-19.
Yep.
And then how long did it take before you got down to, you started as Gerry version.
Gerry V1.
Which we can throw a photo up. And then we got you to version 2.
190 pounds.
When was that?
That was, I think, the summer of 2020. Around the summer 20, yeah. So almost a full year.
When in that process were you losing weight, or at what weight did you get to that you were like, oh shit, this is happening?
I would say probably around the 230 mark. So really? 70 pounds down.
You had to get 70 pounds before you realized that it was working?
Yeah. How far in was that? 3 to 6 months?
I think it was in that 6 month mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I consistently tell clients, you won't visually see a change for at least 3 months in the mirror. You can look at your pictures and see the change, but you're not going to see it in the mirror of yourself. And then your dreams are going to take like a decade to catch up eventually. Yeah. Someday you'll look right in your dreams again. But there's some psychology behind it. And I don't understand it. But you don't notice that change in yourself.
Well, I think that the pictures is a huge thing, because when we did the Surviving the Cut, we didn't do the weekly check-in photos.
We didn't have it.
Exactly. So then once we got on the new platform, and you have to submit weekly check-in photos. And as you know, my first X amount of time on the check-in photos, I wore a shirt.
Yeah.
Because I was still uncomfortable with my skin.
Interesting. So, and I remember Josh had a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Because he talked to me about it.
Yeah.
And so, just for those of you that know that we have coaches meetings, and we kind of bounce clients off of each other. You know, if we're struggling on a topic or something, or like if we want to run by something, we bounce it off all the other coaches. So anyways, So tell the story of the photos.
Yeah, so I was uncomfortable in my own skin, so I would take every check-in photo with a tank top on. And then I got a message from Josh one day. He's like, hey, man, it's time to pop the top. Got to see what's under the hood.
But why did he tell you? Because I remember there's a specific reason why.
It's the seeing your own body composition changes.
Yeah.
It's like we said before, seeing myself at the 300 mark in that picture is one thing. Seeing myself in my skin at 190 pounds was like, oh, wow, this shit's fucking working.
But the fact that he made you take those bigger photos.
Yeah.
Now you can look back and go,
I just wish I had taken photos when I first started.
Yeah.
I have photos of myself with clothes on, right?
Yeah.
But that
progress photos type thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's why even now when we talk to clients, it's not always about the number on the scale, right? It's how you feel inside, the pictures, the body composition, the numbers. Yeah. It's all of that combined in
to make the one picture.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So we do tell people, like, I get it. You don't want to do this, but when you're 100 pounds lighter, you're going to want those pictures. You're going to want those photos.
And it's a vulnerability thing, right?
Because
I'm sending pictures of me, to you guys. And I've never met you guys before. It's just like, hey, let me just send these pictures to this guy, but knowing the comfortableness that they don't get shared or
until you make it.
Hey, let me put it on social media.
Tell everybody. Yeah. God, this last challenge, man. The photos from this last challenge.
It just seems like every challenge we're just getting better and better with the results.
It's so funny to me because anytime I show those to like my friends, just trying to get them on board. Like, I know you're not that healthy. Try this.
Yeah.
And they look at them and they're like, that's photoshopped. I'm like, no, it's not photoshopped. It's not airbrush. This is an actual person who's alive, has a heartbeat, and went through this. Yeah. Would you like to talk to him? I bet I could set it up for you.
Yeah.
But nobody believes it because we have such outstanding results.
I think that goes back to that mindset that we were talking about in your interview, is like when you're that overweight or you're that unhealthy, I think people have this disassociation of like what it takes to, like my client Bruce, he's constantly getting caught in these conversations like, oh, you must be working out like 6 hours a day and then starving yourself, and what diet fat are you on, and this and that. And he's like, I'm not. I eat quite a bit actually, and I train for about an hour a day. Some days I don't train at all. I just want to walk.
Or go snowboarding or skiing.
Yeah.
Well, we had said it before. When I talk to people and they ask me what I eat, and I say, mostly chicken and rice and vegetables. Oh, you're on a diet? No, I just eat healthy. Yeah. Had I said, I eat at McDonald's, it's normal.
Yeah, that's
it's a fucked up mindset.
Like, how fucked up is we as a society that's normal?
Yeah.
And then eating single source ingredient foods that are just like, that's chicken, that's a rice, that's a potato, that's a zucchini, is bizarre. That's diet. Anyways, going back to those photos. So, how hard was it for you to pop that top and take those photos for the first time?
It was complete horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the anxiety of hitting the button on the camera to take the pictures.
Fuck.
Yeah. Shit. Well, I just did that, and I just submitted the. Yeah, it was tough. But I mean, to what you were saying before about the mental side of it.
Yeah.
Going into surviving the cut at that point at 43, and this, Dave knows this. I was traveling a lot for work.
Yeah.
And staying in hotels by yourself. It just, for me, it was that depression had set in. So it was conducive of just eating myself to sleep most nights in a hotel room. Uh-huh. So ordering a ton of food that one man shouldn't eat and just stuffing myself until I fell asleep.
Yeah.
So that mindset, and to me, I knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
But it was just easier just to keep doing that. It was that to me is one of the hardest pieces when you're heavy.
That's the one thing that, like, that's why I liked it, and we'll get to you being on the Agoge now, but like that's the reason why I like that you're on here, is because you have that connection with clients of like, I've been in your shoes, I've been exactly where I've been in that hotel room eating that thing, because I'm looking at it going, don't you feel like garbage when you eat that stuff? Like, don't you feel horrible?
Even if you do feel horrible, you justify it.
How? What's the justification?
It's okay. No one's going to know. You're alone in a hotel room.
It's normal.
It's kind of like we always say, like, you can't bullshit yourself, right?
Yeah.
But if you're lying to yourself and you're believing that lie, that this is okay, then it's okay.
You have to, right? You have to believe that.
You have to.
Yeah.
And you said it's normal. This is your standard way of living. You don't know any better.
Yeah.
It's just like TRT. At some point, you don't feel a ton better, but if you ever drop off, you feel like absolute shit.
Yeah.
You are done.
Yeah.
So even missing a couple days at this point, I don't feel great. So it's the same thing. You just have nothing to compare it to at that point.
Correct.
Your shit life is your shit life. The way you feel.
Point. Yeah. That's great. So you don't know how good you could feel. Actually, Johnny said that on, I think it was the last podcast? He was talking about losing all the weight, getting healthy.
Yeah.
That was 21. He was talking about that. He's like, I honestly didn't know. I didn't know he was that heavy. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, you were like genuinely surprised when he said his number out.
I mean, I knew he was big, but I didn't realize he was that heavy.
What was his weight?
220
220,
or something like that.
He doesn't look like a 220. He never looked 220.
He's not. He doesn't even have the frame for a 220 person.
No.
I mean, he's like 170. That's healthy, normal for him. You know, I couldn't believe he was 220. But he said it best. He was like, honestly, I didn't know that it. I didn't know I felt bad.
Yeah.
I didn't feel good, but I didn't know I felt bad.
Yeah.
Until he got it down, it was like, and he felt good. And he's like, holy shit. It's like you said, like TRT. You don't know how bad you feel until you get on. You feel normal again. You're like, oh, wow, this is what I'm supposed to feel like. You know?
Yeah, and I think the other thing, too, is from a living with, in a society standpoint, it's the clothes. The clothes thing was huge for me because when I would go shopping for clothes, I had to get 3XL shirts. 3XL shirts.
Yeah.
And, they just look like big moo-moo shirts on you, and I would have to wear a tank top or two underneath to kind of wrangle in my body. And when you're that guy wearing those long, big clothes in 90-degree weather and everyone else is wearing tank tops, it takes a mental toll on you.
And what did you say earlier? You were like, no, that's just the way I dress.
Yeah, and people would ask me, why are you wearing that long sleeve shirt? It's August. It's my style.
Like,
no, you're fucking lying. It's not my style.
You're hot as fuck.
I'm fucking hot as hell. I'd like to be in a tank top and shorts, but I can't.
Yeah.
And that's where I never thought I had depression until I moved past that point and then kind of looked back on that time and said, wow, that's what it was. It was that depression piece that was setting in because of the physical nature I was in. It affected me mentally.
Do you remember how much you were eating when we told you to start tracking your calories?
So, because we started on July 1st.
Yeah.
And Josh was like, just eat and track.
Yeah.
Which rolled right into 4th of July weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
So looking at that first week of tracking was like hot dogs and cheeseburgers and just, and when you look at it on paper,
yeah,
it's like, holy shit, this is what you're putting into your body, but you're not doing anything on the outside to put that calories out. You're not doing any form of exercise at all.
You almost can't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Other than walk.
Yeah, that's it. And even that, going up a flight of stairs was a struggle.
And it hurt like you're pushing yourself towards a potential stroke.
I mean, I remember going hunting and hiking up mountains with, a ruck on and like feeling like I was going to die.
Yeah.
It's a crazy feeling.
What did the first workouts look like for you?
That's a great question. Thanks, Dave.
Here for you, Nick. I'm here for you.
So the first workouts were on a Bowflex machine. And it was all centered to me around just high-intensity cardio. And I thought I was going to die. Feeling my heart beating out of my chest as I was doing those workouts was a killer. But getting through the first 3 or 4 of them was like, okay, I did it. And I didn't die.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel good afterwards.
They weren't long, were they?
20, 30 minutes at a time.
Okay.
I was doing it twice a day.
Okay.
But realizing that I could do it and not die was like, oh, and you kind of feel good. Let's keep doing this a little bit more.
We've gotten pretty smart over the years too. That's changed a lot since those days as well.
Yeah.
Experience. So when did you? So we had a year, and then version 2 came in 2020.
Yeah, that's when I hit 190.
190. Did you like yourself at 190?
I like the number.
You like the number.
I like the number, seeing that, whoa, below 200. That's awesome.
Couldn't believe it.
Couldn't believe it. Never thought I'd see below 200
I
in
remember
my
you being
life.
happy. You were happy.
I was ecstatic.
We were still yelling at you though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. Because, when you're here and you go down to that number, it's only about the number.
Yeah.
At that point, that's all it is. It's okay.
I remember because we were trying to get you to eat more, and we were trying to fuel you for performance, and we wanted to put muscle on
Yep.
you, and you were deathly afraid to eat.
Yep.
And that's another good point is once you get down, there's almost a secondary issue mentally that people are worried about. They're worried about putting the weight back on.
Correct. And anytime that scale would go up 1/8 of a pound, 1/4 of a pound, I would start freaking the fuck out. And in my mind, I was back to Gerry version 1. I was that 300-pound guy, just like that. So it really took an education in nutrition and fitness to understand, hey, carbs are good for you, and you can eat and put on the weight in a healthy manner.
At this point in 2020, Josh was your coach.
Correct.
He had taken
Yep.
over for you.
Yep.
Okay. And how was he? How did he communicate that? Like
in the natural Josh way. You're going to eat what I'm going to tell you, macro-wise. You're going to output, and you're going to achieve the results that you want. Just listen to what I'm saying and do what I say.
follow directions.
Exactly. Shut the fuck up. Just follow. Which, again, is what I needed. That was not leaving it open to interpretation, right?
Yeah.
It was, here's your macros, but he also explained the why behind the macros too of, here's why I'm telling you to eat carbs. Here's why I'm telling you to eat this amount of protein and this amount of fat. Okay, now that I understand it, I can execute it better. So it was that mix of that education, but plus the no nonsense.
So when did he shift from, I don't know, like you just doing cardio because you were so big? Because some people, man, like really just can't physically move. So sometimes like it's just like we got to get you to walk. Can you sit in a chair and stand up? You know what I mean? When did you shift to like really focus on more on weightlifting?
Probably towards the mid to late summer of 2020.
Okay.
Is when I started doing some of the strength programs.
You did. First thing when you did was I think he put you in the hypertrophy
program. Yeah.
Yeah. How'd that feel?
It felt
being that low.
Yeah.
And then working out like that.
I mean, I hate to use this term, but I feel like a waif, right? Trying to do curls and bench, and I just didn't have the muscular strength to do what I thought I was, could do. But over time, it got there.
Now you're throwing up all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I love your check-ins too, because it's like we almost used you as like a test bed for a lot of the programs that we run, and I'm like, let's see what his percentage is like, because you were so big and weak at the same time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It was interesting to be able to build you back up and go, okay, like let's see what can be done in this 16-week training program.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Percentages wise.
That's great. It's like a blank canvas.
Right.
You just get to paint the picture. Oh, man.
What we were
Have you
saying.
had one of those with us yet? Have you gotten anybody yet?
Not that's come down that significant and then built back up. I also tend to take an approach that's a little bit more consistent on both angles.
Yeah.
And then
We all do now.
Yeah. Once I get about 3 months in, that's when I like to cut the weight off a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Just because it allows you to
build
get more muscle,
consistency.
consistency.
Yeah.
You're eating right. We're also putting on muscle because you look like crap if you don't have anything underneath when you lose the weight.
Yeah.
And I want you to be strong, fit, and capable. If you need to run with your family out of the mall because for some reason you're in the mall and somebody starts shooting, I want you to be able to carry your kids out.
Right.
So that's my first step.
Yeah.
Now, if you're that large and heavy, we're going to take it a little bit different approach, right? We got to work around.
We have to get healthy first.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that brings up a great point because, and I've talked to you about this, when I was at that 300-pound mark, 2016, when Trump was elected, I was on Fifth Avenue in New York City.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You did talk about this.
And I was standing on Fifth Avenue during one of the protests. I mean, thousands of people screaming at the top of their lungs. And I had trained in martial arts my whole life. And at that point, I said to myself, if this thing goes south, I'm not in a physical position enough to protect myself. I would probably die. Went back to the hotel, and that's when the realization hit me. If I had my kids with me, not only would I have lost myself, I could have lost my kids because I wasn't in the best physical shape of my life.
Dude, I try to tell people that so much all the time. I'm like, listen, like you could be anywhere. You could be anywhere. In this day and age, you can be anywhere. You turn the corner, next thing you know, there is a organization, any organization, whatever you want to call them, that is creating a riot on the street that you just turned down.
A demonstration.
Oh, that's demonstration.
Yes.
So now you went from like hunky dory Beavertown, you turn the corner, and next thing you know, you're in the middle of a demonstration in a car, and things are going crazy.
Correct.
What you get your family? What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
If you can't, get physically have the wherewithal to get your family and move out of that and get them to safety, like what if you were on foot at 300 pounds? Like, you're the liability.
100%.
They have more chance than you.
Yeah.
Just leave
exactly. Leave me behind and go.
Just go.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's not your role, man.
No.
Crazy, man.
It's that going back to the hotel and thinking that night was hit me hard.
Yeah.
Still took me 4 years to make a fucking change.
Yeah. So we started building muscle back on, and how did that whole next year look?
So it was amazing to see the transformation of not only putting on the muscle, but moving that muscle.
Yeah.
So like, I'll give you an example: box jumps.
Yeah.
When I saw that on the workout sheet, I'm like, a box jump? I'd kill myself. But then doing it, I'm like, oh my God, I can do it, and I feel good doing it. So, doing a lot of the exercise and movements that I had never done before, but putting into work what we had built, it was like one of the best feelings in the world. There's no drug out there.
No, of course not.
No, that can equal what you feel when you do that.
Yeah.
No drug.
I mean, you went from 300 pounds to 200 to be able to actually
move,
pick your feet up off the ground.
Well, we were saying before, there's a difference between being big muscularly versus big fatly.
Yeah.
So I was always a big guy back then.
Yeah.
I just had no muscle behind me.
Yeah.
Where now I'm smaller than I was, but I've got that muscle behind me now, and I can do things that I was never capable of.
Right. Like gauntlet.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. I had to go. My 4-year-old size female bladder that I have. Dave, where were we at? That's why you're here, remember?
Nope.
No,
I don't.
Nope. So we were at, let's see, Gerry was putting muscle on. Putting muscle on.
Moving.
When did you come on as a coach?
So that was the summer of 2021.
So it was a full 2 years.
Yeah.
Full 2 years.
Yeah.
And you came on.
I started as a challenge coach for July.
That's right.
July.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which those of you guys run the Agoge challenge. Everybody loves Gerry. They do, man.
Well, I love them. I love them.
Loves you at the challenge, bro. They're like, "Fucking Gerry is awesome." I hear it all the time, man. I hear it all the time.
It makes me feel good. I love them. They're great people.
You're doing You're doing the Lord's work. That's for sure.
But I remember seeing, I think it was an Instagram post, or I think it was that you were looking for coaches.
Were you our first coach technically that came on?
I was.
Yeah, Dave was.
And I think it was the same Instagram post because you've only posted it once for a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that worked out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Thank you.
You were probably overqualified, to be honest, Dave. But we liked you. We were like, oh, nope. He's a dad. He's legitimately a coach because you coach, which we'll have to do your own podcast one day. Yeah. But you actually coach lacrosse and softball?
Lacrosse and strength and conditioning for a youth softball team. And then any sport my kids want to do, I'm just going to coach it.
You're like, I'm the guy.
Yeah, they want me out there. I'm younger than the rest of the parents. I might as well run around. And I'm in shape enough to do it because I do this all the time.
Yeah, you're a different kind of beast, man.
Yeah.
Like if you guys don't follow Dave, like you need to post more lifting videos.
Yeah.
You really do.
I know. Things I'm not good at is video of myself.
Just put the thing. I say the same shit. I know. But just put the thing and then do it, because even when I watch you lift, I'm like, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
100%.
I'm gonna go watch Dave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch Dave power clean.
Yeah. Even the stuff that you do with like the girls team.
That's awesome.
That is amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And it was amazing to watch them. And I know it's all intra and intermuscular coordination that they gained.
Yeah.
They're third, fourth, and fifth grade for those of you listening out there in land. So they're not going to gain a ton of strength at this age. But just to be able to put the muscle together and work in sync with each other.
The central nervous system to, yeah.
Yeah. And I had three girls. One of them's a third grader, goblet squatting a 65-pound dumbbell for reps.
That's crazy.
That's unreal.
No legit swinging a kettlebell that's 35 pounds. Like, they are getting so good at this. It was actually our last session Monday night. Mm-hmm. And it was just, you girls come up with the workout. Let's see what you come up with. And we did all kinds of crazy stuff. They ended up with like doing the Macarena at one point and some other stuff. Because with kids, you got to keep it fun, right?
I like all the fun. Like, you post all the fun stuff that you do with them all the time, like the tug of war and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Buy-in. My only job is to get you to come back next year.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's it. Especially with sports.
So what do you do on the lacrosse side?
So I'm the head coach for my daughter's team.
Okay.
Which is an interesting take to grab as coming from men's lacrosse, never even watching women's lacrosse and getting in there.
Yeah, Mark says it's boring. He's nodding.
Yeah. I will admit I find it more fascinating than the men's game because it's less Neanderthal. It's more like you got to think and move.
Likes. He just wants to go smash people.
I tell him, you get locked up on the street if you do this with that stick out there. Do it here. Come on, let's hit some guys. And then on my son's team, I do the strength and conditioning portion for them. And then
what age group is the other team for your son's team?
Son's team's 6th grade, so middle school club.
Okay.
Which is in Maryland, if you know anything about it, it's like the thing you need to be doing is club lacrosse in middle school.
Okay.
That leads you into high school where you get selected to go to colleges and stuff.
Awesome.
So we do the conditioning, and then defensive stuff is probably where I take more help, where I'm able to help out more just because I can do the footwork side and help you with positioning and body angles and that kind of stuff.
And personally, you enjoy, I mean, obviously, like powerlifting stuff, you're just on another level, but personally, you enjoy, I don't even know what you would call this, endurance sports?
Yeah, I'm an endurance sport guy now.
Why?
So I'll actually say, I found this when I was an instructor at the SAR school in San Diego.
Yeah.
I had a master chief that started mentoring me by going on runs. And his runs weren't fun for me.
Like a runner.
I'm not a runner. I'm not built to be a runner. But he would start mentoring me. That was the year I picked up chief.
Okay.
After his mentorship. But we would go on these 8-10 mile runs out in San Diego County. And we would just get up and go because our schedule was light enough that day or we didn't need to be there. And we would talk about work or whatever we needed to talk about, right? And I found out that I'm actually pretty good at this. And then it started to clear my heads and I started running on the weekends. And so I liked it. So now it's triathlon or long distance runs. I found for my training, it works best if I mix that with extreme power stuff. So that's why you see the power cleans. That's why you see a lot of the heavy squats. I'll actually lose more weight that way. I'll maintain what I want to do. I'm a better person.
Yeah.
So yeah,
endurance. I know a lot of people discount lifting that are runners. They're afraid that their running is going to be suffered if they're lifting, but actually if they're deadlifting, squatting, they're going to be a better runner.
Oh yeah.
And they need a strength program. If you're a runner, you need a strength program.
You've got to have it.
Yeah. If you want to be a good runner
and not get hurt.
Yeah. That's the thing. Not get hurt.
That's really the goal for this is to be able to do it as long as you can.
Yeah.
And not get hurt.
And so you're doing triathlons.
Yep.
What else?
So
do you do marathons or do you mainly do triathlons?
I've only done triathlons so far and some off-road running races.
You're about to do some really stupid thing, right?
Yeah. So the Trans Rockies Trail Run this summer, it's 120 miles over 6 days up the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, that sounds like not a good.
Not fun.
I will post about you. I will support you. I think it's awesome, but I will not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's going to be a blast. That looks like a fun time.
It's going to be pretty.
It's going to be pretty, and I'm going to be surrounded by people that want to be there.
Yeah.
So we're all going to have a good time climbing up these mountains.
Nice.
Jerry, you going to go out there?
No. I'm going to take a rain check on that one.
Yeah, it's all Dave, man. How much weight do you think you'll lose over 6 days?
Oh, man, that's tough. I'm pretty sure they have a solid food beer situation because they're runners. So
that's like a thing, right?
That's a big thing for runners.
Yeah.
Is making sure you get enough calories in through alcohol, which I'll never understand why. But they do
drink.
that. Yeah, I'm not going to drink too much.
Beer thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of beer and running.
I'm sure the food's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can lose 5-10 pounds, and that's it, and not something like 15, 20.
Because otherwise you'll probably suffer like performance issues, right?
Yeah. Or give myself rhabdo.
That would be not cool.
No.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny. I say I won't do that, but then I go do something like Suckfest.
Suckfest.
Oh, yeah.
It's so. Yeah,
How was that?
it sucked.
Did
But
anybody do it with you, or you did it solo?
yeah, 3 people.
Who?
Me, myself, and I.
And I talked to all 3 of you while I was doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did it by myself in my basement.
Oh my God. Dude.
That was 14 hours of growth, man. You know, Bedros is right. You hit that point where you walk through that door eventually.
So tell people what Suckfest
So
is.
Suckfest is you start at 4:00 in the morning. You have to finish by I think it's 5:00 at night.
Yeah.
And it's the equivalent of a marathon. So you're doing 26 and a half miles, whatever it is.
Okay.
And then you do 1,080 reps of various exercises.
So it's basically like you do, I think, is it 40 at a time or something like that?
So the way we broke it up was it was like 0.2 of a mile, 15 reps, and then you just recycle that over and over again.
Oh, I think the way they did it out there is they did 40 reps and then they did a mile.
Okay.
40 reps a mile.
Gotcha.
40, I think. I think that's how they did it.
Yeah, so I started at 4 in the morning and I ended at 6:00 at night
Where'd you run?
on my treadmill
Holy shit! So you did it. You were in the Batcave the entire time.
the entire time.
Oh my, yeah, dude. That's a mental training right there.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny because it started off like I had music going and stuff, and by the end it was every inspirational YouTube clip I can watch, like the hour-long compilations, just pushing me through. Wow. And you know, like my daughter Cassidy came down at one point. She's like, "You know, you're limping, right?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Just stop." I'm like, "No, because if I stop, I'm not going to move again.
Yeah.
I'll deal with everything else afterwards."
How long did it take you to recover?
About 2 days.
That's not bad.
No. The worst part, you know, blisters on my feet.
You're 45 years old, dude. Like, how awesome is that?
It was great.
Like going back to being the 300-pound guy.
Oh,
like,
I would have died.
could you imagine that you'd ever
Well,
do something
I still
like
remember. So I would do like a mile jog to start my workouts.
Yeah.
And I was texting you and Josh one day on Instagram, and he's like, "Hey, have you ever done a 5K?" It's like, "No." It's like, "Fucking do one." Okay.
That sounds like Kim.
So I did a 5K. Did it in like 30 minutes. I was like, "Hey, let me do that again next week." So did it in 28 minutes. Then I did it a third time.
I remember this.
27 minutes.
Yeah.
So then I just ran a mile for time, and I looked at the average for my age group.
Yeah.
And I was like 4 minutes ahead of where my age group should be.
Do you remember what it was, the average?
I think it was like 12 minutes or 13 minutes for a mile. And I was like at 9 something at that time.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. And you know, going back to Gerry V1, or even before, like when I was in high school,
Yeah.
those days of running were the worst days in the world. You know, it was like an ant being squished by a shoe. When I heard, "Hey, you got to go outside and run a mile," fuck, I would think of any excuse to get out of it. And now it's second nature. Now I'm running with my 20-pound plate on and you know, doing stuff. So yeah,
With your daughter.
seeing what you can accomplish.
Human body
is amazing.
Resilient, man. Like we can do some amazing things.
Yeah.
It's just this is what
It's all pure.
Yep.
it's all up here.
It's all pure.
Yeah. So Josh is actually, you know, it's about to be his 10-year anniversary from his injury,
Really?
and I'm putting it out there. He talked to me about it. I don't know if he's finally made the decision. I think he's going to do it. A 50-mile ruck.
Wow.
A 50-mile ruck through Saddle Road in Kona. So you just have to go up the mountain and then back down, and it's 50 miles. And we ran the times and how long it's going to take and everything. He's got to start because of the heat, because he's doing it in July, like June or July. He's got to start at 10 p.m. That's so he doesn't hit that high 3 o'clock. Mm-hmm. You know, so a good portion of it at night.
Well, I saw the birthday ruck he had. You do.
Oh yeah,
That didn't look.
That was dumb. We did. I love that thing. So yeah, are you going out there? Are you going, Lori?
I want to get out there eventually. Yeah.
Dude, tickets right now are like $450.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. But yeah. So he goes to this old airstrip, and he has this other guy, Ian, who like a massive grappler fighter, like awesome, massive dude. But he's, he allowed himself to, he let COVID be an excuse to gain a bunch of weight, and now he's lost it. He did a challenge, and he's back on the mend. But so he linked up with Josh, and he's been doing training with Josh in the mornings. And so he came out there when I first got there. It was my birthday, and he goes out to the flight line. It was 3 of us, so he has a 40-pound D-ball, those torture device farmers carry things, which are the coolest looking, like
looks like something out of Mad Max,
right?
Yeah,
like most of us just have they just carry kettlebells or dumbbells or something, but they've created these like this wooden thing with pipe handles with rope around it, like ship rope, and then these poles that put weight on there, but we didn't put any weight on there, and I think it's half a mile down the flight line, and so he does it 4 times to do 2 miles. So you just go until one thing till the farmer's carry guy gives out, and you all have to rotate. And obviously the ruck is the best thing. The ball is the worst because there's no good way to carry it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like you think I'll put it on my head or I'll put it on my shoulder or I'll like this is the worst because it's like compressing your chest and your buys are giving out, but then you're on your shoulder and like it's like. It was the most uncomfortable thing, with the carries. It's just your grips are giving out, but that ball sucked. So anyways, you just do rotations, and every time you stop, you quickly rotate and you keep going. And then right towards the end, it was like the last few hundred meters. I was like, just give it all to me. So I put the ruck on, I put the ball on top of the ruck, and I carried the thing, and I just I self-hazed myself to the finish line. You know what I mean? But that's what you do when you turn 40, right?
Yeah.
You punch yourself in the dick just to make sure you're like, nope, I'm still a man. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard things.
Got to push yourself.
Yeah. I think
can't be content.
Yeah, I think that there's a underestimation. What's the word there? Dave, you're a scholar.
Yeah. Underestimation sounds good.
Let's go with that.
Not going to judge you.
Of doing hard things and what that does for you. Like I think so many people are so comfortable in their own little world that they don't want to do anything hard.
It's easier to take the easy path, right?
Right, but the thing is,
it's comfortable, it's safe, it feels good.
Yeah, but the thing is like, I don't know, man. To me, I panic in that comfortability. I'm constantly, you guys have followed me for years. Like I'm constantly trying to find like what's the next thing. Yep. Like you're constantly doing it. Like what you were saying earlier, you're like, yeah, I just hate myself.
Yeah, like I know it, and I must drive my wife crazy to live with me because my brain doesn't shut off. It just constantly spins into the next thing.
Feels the same way.
It's got to be a nightmare. Thank God that she is a smart person. Yeah. And she knows what's going to come next.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you're just going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, just go. Have fun. You want us there.
Well, that's why I wanted to get into coaching, because to me that was
the next.
That's the next. It's okay. You've got yourself to a good spot. How can you now take this and help other people?
Yeah.
And I remember having that conversation with Josh, like, hey, I saw you guys are looking for a coach. What would you think if it was me?
I remember him when he told me that, I was like, "Oh my God! If he gets some training, this would be perfect.
Yeah.
This would absolutely, especially for the challenges.
Yeah,
like it'd be perfect just because of that background."
And I remember when he called me after talking to you.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey man, that's my Josh impression, Josh. I apologize." But he's like, "Hey man, you got to go get certified." I'm like, no problem.
On it.
Done.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got certified, and I texted him, I'm like, "Hey man, all certs are done already." It's like, yeah. When I set my mind to something now, I'm going to do it. And then we had talked about, hey, let's start off doing the July challenge and see how that goes. And I even remember having the conversation with you in I guess it was the October challenge. Mm-hmm. I had texted you. I said, hey, how did you think I did this challenge versus July's challenge.
Yeah.
And you called me and you're like, how do you think you did? So I think I did better. He goes, you said, you did much better. Because obviously you felt much more comfortable doing it. But
it's experience.
yeah, I love this challenge. I love the challenges.
Oh man, I love the challenges because I like the excitement that people get and the community that people get behind the challenges. But I just wish they would stay with us afterwards.
Yeah.
Because I want to downregulate that cortisol. I want to go, you know what I mean? I want to go slow and smooth. You know what I mean? I want long-term goals. I want to make sometimes I feel like people do like these 30-day things, and then it's like, okay, I'm good. Like then I go back to my normal thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, if I can get you for months, like we're gonna change your life forever.
And we have a lot of people always say, well, can I just do back-to-back challenges? And I know for some people it takes maybe 2 challenges to really get it down pat, but you just can't keep living on.
I think it's 3.
3 is probably a better number, yeah.
I think it's 3. I mean, a lot of times people don't even complete the challenge until round 3.
I mean, how many times do we look at check-ins by like week 3 and we're 25%?
Yeah, it's a challenge.
That's exactly. It's a challenge.
Everybody's going to finish.
100%.
But typically third time's a charm.
But the worst is the clients we get that in like that third week, you've checked in every week, and then they don't check in the last week. Something causes them to fail right at the end of the challenge.
That sucks.
Like you're fucking invested that much into it.
Yeah.
Look what you've done. Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Just
don't quit.
Take that hill.
Yeah.
Take that hill.
So how is it now? Thanks for bringing me back circle. As you see, I see how you did that. How is it now that you have your own clients?
I love it. I love being able to take someone and not every client that I have was in the same spot that I was in.
Yeah.
Not everyone is.
We do a very good job. I mean, you guys obviously know this. Like Josh does a very good job. We onboard somebody like Tyler talks to him. Either Tyler or I talk to him. We get their package, we get their information, we get it to Josh, and then it either goes to one of the coaches, right?
Yep.
I think we do a very good job picking the right personalities for the right coaches. I mean, I think that's very important, right? Like making sure that you're meshing with your coach, and it's something we take pride in. So with the people that you get and the people that Dave gets is like very tailored,
yeah,
right? And sometimes we get it wrong and we have to switch, and that's no big deal. There's nothing wrong with that. But the people that we get, or the people that you get, obviously there's for a reason.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's a reason why they have you, Dave. There's a reason why they have Dave, and there's a reason why they have Josh. And we're looking for another now. But so if that's you, message me. But anyways. So those guys that you get, do you feel that connection based off of regardless whether they're overweight or not? Do you feel that need?
Yes.
For your personality, specific.
Yeah,
personality?
and I think it all comes from that initial Zoom call.
Yep.
Right. That initial connection of. So when on my Zoom calls, I'll have them tell me why they came to the Agoge, what they're looking to get, and then I tell them how I fit into this fucked up puzzle of the Agoge. Where do I come in? And I think that building that one-on-one relationship right off the bat pays its dividends. And to me, you want to see clients stay on for as long as possible, but I love the clients that hit that 5-month mark and they said, hey,
dude, both of you guys recently have had some guys that have kind of, I guess you could call them, we should like
graduates,
right?
Graduate out, bro, like, but blown away, and that's what I want. You know what, if all you need is 5 months and we get you there by 5 months and you're like, I'm good.
Yep.
Bro, high five out the door, man. Like the testimonies that the two of you have been getting at the 5-month mark for the people that have graduated out, we actually do need to get something for them. Like if you hit your 5-month mark and we've hit our goals, I'm going to work with that on Josh. I'm going to get him something.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
And one of my like onboarding things always ends up going to, I want you to learn more than anything else.
That's it.
Whatever you.
So you don't need us.
I don't want you to need me.
Yeah.
A coach is someone who takes you where you want to go when you don't quite know how to get there.
Yeah.
Once you're there, you need to keep going down the path.
Yeah.
I need to help you get there, but I always tell them, I want you to learn. Eat off my meal plan for 2 weeks. Then start experimenting and figuring out how this works into what you want in your daily life.
Yeah.
if I have to come up with another meal plan every other week for you, you're going to get really tired of the things that I'm choosing because they're not you.
Well, not just that, but it's just going to be like you're going to get like if you really want to do that, you want to eat like me. I eat the same 3 meals
every day,
all the time. There's a lot of chicken and rice.
Yeah,
tastes delicious. But there's a lot of it.
Right. Like, and I'm okay with that because it creates consistency for me, and I reach my goals every time. But like that might not be you.
Yep.
So
and just from a simplicity standpoint, with everything the 3 of us have going on in our lives, I don't have the time to think about my meals. I want to make it super simple, right?
Right, exactly.
I want to just keep it as simple as possible so I can get it done and not think about it.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that we tell our clients is learn from us, but then keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
And then find your little, as long as it fits within the things, and it's preferably a single source ingredient.
Yeah.
You're not mixing trying to fit Hamburger Helper into your
Can I fit a Big Mac into my macros?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. You're gonna that might be the only thing you eat that day, but have at it, bud. Yeah.
I also think there's something to you were saying it earlier that we match up with our clients.
Yeah.
I never get off a phone and I'm like, damn it, I was pulling teeth. This was so difficult. I'm like, I am stoked to be your coach.
Yeah.
Like I am excited about every client that we get on board.
Because they're like hungry.
They're hungry. They want it. And then if they have the discipline to succeed, and I'm going to say if, because not everybody does.
Correct.
5 months is a commitment to change your life.
Yeah.
And there are clients that don't make it 5 months before they start getting out of the picture and pulling themselves back. And you try to grab them, but you can't grab everybody. You can't save every single person.
No, they have to.
They have to want it.
They have to want it. Yeah.
So that discipline to stay, once they get it, they switch.
And I'm sure you get this too, but I get a lot of clients that'll text me with questions and then apologize for asking the questions. I'm like, why are you apologizing? Like that means you're invested, right?
Well, not just that, but let's be real. You're paying for this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like, bro, you're paying for this. It's okay to ask questions.
100%. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, if you have a question, you don't understand something, fucking ask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Keep your money's worth.
Keep it before 9 p.m.
Please.
That's my rule.
Please. Let's have some boundaries. Let's have some boundaries. Yeah. But anyways, it's been wild to watch this transition with you and now that you guys have linked up, start doing some what do we call it earlier? Instructor sustainment.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll go to the military terms. Is doing some instructor sustainment and linking up.
But what I would tell everybody is, a lot of people say, "Oh, this saved my life," or "That saved my life," or I can literally say,
Yep.
Literally, the Agoge saved my life.
Yeah.
Because had I not found you guys, had you guys not given me that roadmap, had I not have that build up that discipline to do the work, I would literally be fucking dead.
Dude, this is, and you guys have heard me talk about money a lot. Me complain, like people that say, "Well, I can't afford it." Oh, really? You can't afford it? Okay. Well, one, I could tear your budget apart. We'll see what you're spending money on. Two, let me ask your family, when you're 350 pounds, let me ask your family what your life is worth. $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. What are they willing to scrape together to save your life?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're talking about. If you're that heavy, the statistics are out there. Google, motherfucker. Like, go Google heart disease and obesity death rates. Have it out. Have at it. So, like that, that's how serious some of these conditions are. And some of these guys that we're talking about, we're not talking about young men. We're talking about fathers, husbands. You know what I mean? Like, people that have people that love them. That's who come to us. At the end of the day, like, it's our real target audience is probably 30 to 50s, fathers and husbands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'll say one of the other big mental changes that I had was after my father died, and I'd go to bed at night.
Yeah.
It was that thought of, well, he died technically in his sleep.
Oh,
what
God.
if I don't fucking wake up tomorrow? And I can't tell you how many nights I went to bed, couldn't sleep because I had that thought in my head of, I'm going down the same path. What if I don't wake up tomorrow? Now when I go to sleep, I don't have those fucking thoughts.
That's amazing.
And, I do have people say to me, well, you lost all this weight. That's great, but you can go out and get hit by a bus. Sure, but right now I'm putting myself in the best
Bro, have
possible.
you seen me jump? Come on, hit by a bus? Yeah. Please.
Box jumps for life.
But it's you're putting yourself in the best possible position to live as long as you can.
Well, it's about control, right? It's mitigating risk. You know, it's like with any operation, with anything, it's all about mitigating risk. And if I can mitigate the things that I have control over, well, then that's my part.
That's it.
The stuff that I can't control, it's like the Alcohol Anonymous. It's like you got to let that shit go.
Well, I tell Cassidy all the time, control your 3-foot world.
Yeah.
If it's out of that 3-foot world, don't fucking worry about it.
Yeah, it's nothing you can do.
Exactly.
Why are you going to bring stress in your life and let it rent space in here if you have zero control over it?
100%.
You know, but guess what you can control? How you move your body, your friends, and the shit you put in your mouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? If you can control those, that's everything. Move your body, you know, control what you put in your mouth, and control the circle you're in. Those 3 things will change your life.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You know, well, guys, thanks for. Dave's got to get back to his kids and his 4 sports teams. But guys, man, thank you so much for allowing us to come up and hang out with you. And it's stuff that I crave. We need to do it more often. Josh was like, "You're gonna be close to Dave. Dave, you have to link up with Dave." And I'm like, "Yes, I concur."
We got to do one of these with Josh. We got to get Josh somehow.
Well, the goal is to get us all together down in North Carolina.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
That's what we're working for, to do a seminar. So we'll do it. We want to do an in-house seminar for the whole company.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, just some training and that way, because I know we work remote, but dude, it's so good when we come together and especially if we could all get together at one time, because then we can just really refine stuff and even provide a better services to our people.
Yeah.
Continue to change lives, and really that's maybe we should start talking about that. Like you want to change your life, like freaking let me add a couple decades to your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to be able to watch, your daughter grow up.
Absolutely.
All the way.
Walk her down the aisle.
Walk her down the aisle. Yeah. These are important things.
Milestones.
Yeah. Like I don't want to miss any of it.
Nope.
I'm trying to live forever, man.
As long as I can go.
As long as I can go.
Modern science and my income, 120, 180.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Well, you guys, listen. Go follow Gerry. Go follow Dave. These guys are amazing, amazing coaches. They're doing great work with men in their lives, and screenshot them. I guarantee every single person that is listening to this right now, the thousands of people that download our podcast, know somebody that needs to listen to this. Guarantee. Even I do. Gerry does.
Yep.
Dave does. We all know somebody that needs to listen to this. So please share this with them. Screenshot this. Share it on social media. Tag all 3 of us. We'll all push it out. And other than that, you guys know the deal. Never quit. Never surrender. Always forward. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.